Hello everyone, my name is Burak. I'm an investment and immigration advisor for foreigners in Turkey. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about cost of living in Turkey as a foreigner. I make this video as comprehensive as possible. I will go section by section about the cost of living. For example, housing, transportation, food, healthcare, education, and leisure activities. If you have any questions, you can comment it and I will reply. Also, I would appreciate a lot if you can subscribe to my channel. In the first section, I will start with housing. Housing is the most significant expense in Turkey for a foreigner. The price of the rent depends on the location of the flat, how big the flat is, and also the condition of the flat. For example, a 2+ flat in the city center of a big city such as Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, or Antalya, for an average flat it starts from 10,000 Turkish lira and it goes up to 20,000 Turkish lira for an average flat which is not luxurious. So it makes between $500 and $1,000 for a 2-bedroom and 1 living room flat in a big city. If you go to small cities, that price goes down to between 5,000 Turkish lira and 10,000 Turkish lira, so between $250 and $500. Of course, if you go for a luxury flat or if you want to live in a flat with sea view or with Bosphorus view, it goes up to 30,000 Turkish lira, 40,000 Turkish lira, which is around $1,500 or $2,000 per month. Let's go to the utilities. The utilities in Turkey is electricity, water and gas. Usually electricity for my flat, which is 2+1, I pay around 200 Turkish lira or 300 Turkish lira, which is $10, $15. But of course, if there are more family members in the flat, that number can go up. For water, it's usually 100 or 150 Turkish lira, which is $5, $8 per month. The natural gas depends from season to season. Usually in the summer season, I spend around 200 Turkish lira, which is $10. But in the winter season, it goes up to 1,500, 2,000 Turkish lira per month, which is around $100 per month. Because I'm using the gas for my heating, that's why in the winter season it goes up. And finally, I would like to mention about internet. In Turkey, high-speed internet is around 300 Turkish lira, which is $15. This is also exactly what I pay for my flat. In the second section, I will give you examples about the cost of transportation in Turkey. In Turkey, the public transportation is quite extensive in big cities and we recommend foreigners to use public transportation because it's more effective than using a car and it's also much cheaper than using a taxi or your own car. In big cities, usually one fare ticket is only 10 Turkish lira, which is around 50 US dollar cents. So it's quite cheap, it's only 50 cents to use public transportation for one way. In Turkey also you can use the taxi. I will talk about the taxi fares in Istanbul. So the taxi fare usually starts from 20 Turkish lira for short distance and with an additional cost of 10 Turkish lira per kilometer. So as a conclusion, a 10-kilometer taxi ride will cost you around 120 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to $6 for a 10-kilometer taxi drive. And finally, I will talk about the gas prices in Turkey if you own your own car. Currently, the gas price and also the diesel price is around 20 Turkish lira per liter. So it makes $1 per liter for gas and for diesel. We would advise you to use public transportation because it's quite cheaper compared to other countries in Europe or in the United States. But if you want to use taxi or if you want to use your own car, the gas prices are comparable to other countries in the world. In the third section, I'm going to give you information about food and grocery expenses in Turkey. In general, food and grocery expenses are quite reasonable in Turkey because there is lots of agriculture in Turkey and many things are produced locally. For example, for a single person, monthly grocery expense is between 1,500 and 3,000 Turkish lira if that person cooks at home. So it's between $75 to $150. I will also give you some examples of grocery prices and food prices in the supermarkets as of now. So I checked on Migros supermarket and the price of minced meat is 240 Turkish lira for kilogram. So it's $12 for minced meat per kilogram. For chicken cutlet, it's 90 Turkish lira. So it makes 4.5 US dollars per kilogram for chicken cutlet meat. The milk is around 20 Turkish lira per liter, so it makes $1 per liter for milk. The bread is 6 Turkish lira, so it's 30 cents for a loaf of bread like this. And apple is currently 20 Turkish lira, which is $1 per kilogram for apple in Turkish supermarkets. In the fourth section, I'm going to give you information about the cost of leisure activities in Turkey and the cost of going out for a dinner. In Turkey, eating out is not very expensive compared to other countries in Europe. For example, a meal at an inexpensive restaurant in Turkey is around 80 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to $4. If you go to a fancy restaurant in Istanbul with a good sea view, it's around 500 or 600 Turkish lira with the drinks, with alcoholic beverages. So it will be around $30 per person for a fancy meal in Istanbul. Also, the street food is quite cheap in Turkey. If you go for a döner or for a kebab, for a chicken döner, it's around 30 or 40 Turkish lira, which is around $2 per meal. I will also talk about the cost of other leisure activities. For example, if you want to go to a movie theater in Turkey, the movie ticket is around 100 Turkish lira, which is $5. If you want to go to a concert or theater, it's between 100 Turkish lira and 300 Turkish lira, so which makes around $5 and $15 depending on the concert. Also, I will talk about the sports activities and gym membership. In Istanbul, gym membership is between 800 and 1,500 Turkish lira, depending on the quality and the location of the gym per month. So it makes around $40 or $75 per month for gym membership. And also the museums and historical sites are quite reasonable in Turkey. For example, the entry ticket to Dolmabahce Palace is around $5. And the entry tickets to most of the museums are between $5 or $10. In my knowledge, only Topkapı Palace is quite expensive, around $20 or $30, but this is an exception. And also Turkey offers museum pass for foreigners, and for 1,750 Turkish lira, you can visit almost all the museums in Istanbul for 5 days. And finally, I will come to the shopping. Shopping basic textiles such as t-shirt or dresses are quite reasonable in Turkey. For example, in a shopping mall, a sample t-shirt is around $5 in stores such as De Facto or LCW. So that shopping is also reasonable in Turkey if you shop from Turkish brands. But if you are shopping from international brands, it's a little bit more expensive compared to the rest of the world. And nightlife in Turkey, if you go to a local bar, a pint of beer or half a liter beer is around $4. If you are going to a fancy restaurant, a cocktail is usually priced around $15. In the fifth section, I'm going to give you information about healthcare and hospital costs in Turkey. In Turkey, the hospitals and the healthcare system is very quality and the prices are very affordable. In Turkey, there is a division between public hospitals and private hospitals. Public hospitals are very low cost, but you need to wait a lot in the queue. However, in the private hospitals, the prices are quite high, but of course, compared to the rest of the world, they are still affordable. And the service you are getting in private hospitals are faster and it's better than public hospitals. So as a breakdown of the healthcare costs, I can give doctor's visit. When you visit a doctor in public hospital, you only pay a small fee around 200-300 Turkish lira, and you can get information from the doctor about your condition. In private hospitals, usually a doctor's visit is around 2000 Turkish lira, so it's around $100 per doctor visit in private hospital. Also in Turkey, you can get private health insurance to get coverage, and that insurance covers almost everything. The health insurance premium depends on your condition, your age, and also the coverage of the insurance plan. Usually for a Turkish citizen, it's around 2000 Turkish lira per month. So it makes around $100 per month. But if you have any plans or benefits, sometimes it can go as low as $50 or $40 per month for a Turkish citizen. For foreigners, again, it starts from $100. It can go up to $200-300 per month depending on your age and the coverage of your health insurance in Turkey. In the final section, I'm going to talk about education costs in Turkey. For foreigners with children, education costs can be a significant part of your budget. In Turkey, there are public schools and private schools. In the public schools, it's free for Turkish citizens. And for foreigners, they charge a small amount per year for education. However, in public schools, there can be language barrier because most of the students going to the public schools are Turkish and the main education is given in Turkish language. In private schools, the children can get education in English or in other languages. However, the price of the private schools goes up. Usually, as of now in Turkey, the fee for a private school ranges between 150,000 Turkish lira and 300,000 Turkish lira, depending on the location of the school and the reputation of the school. So for a 1 year, it's between $7,500 and $15,000 for education. In private universities, again, the range is between $5,000 and $20,000, depending on the education. Especially if you want to get medicine education in Turkey, it's quite expensive and it can go as high to $30,000, $40,000 for a year as a tuition. Overall, the cost of living in Turkey is relatively affordable compared to European countries. I hope you enjoyed this video and it will give you some idea about cost of living in Turkey as a foreigner. You can subscribe to my channel to have more information about the future videos that I'm going to upload here. Thank you very much for watching this video and I wish you a great day.